Good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Chris Edwards, and our friend and host is on the road today. He's not back with us yet, but he's going to jump in at some point today. Just want to say hello to Ron. I can see him in the background watching. So before we get started and jump into today's show, because we've got a lot going on in politics and in the world today, and I'm sure most people are aware of what's been going, what transpired yesterday, or two major events that happened yesterday, and we'll kind of dive into it. And actually, I'd love it if my partner in crime, Miss Gwendolyn Houston Jackson, would join me, and also Elise, if you're available to join me as well. But before we do anything, let's start off by saying some good mornings and some hellos. Let's see who's first. Of course, Hannah is in the room, and she gets the gold star today. Good morning, Hannah. She says, good morning, Ron and Chris and Touch Base Daily family. And then second in the room, we've got Adrian. Happy Friday Eve, y'all. And of course, rounding up third with the bronze is my partner in crime, Gwendolyn. And she says good morning to everyone. Also, we've got Kelly in the room. She says, good morning, everyone. And then, of course, I had left a little note for everyone as we were getting ready to come on, saying that we were just waiting for Ron. I did not realize I was supposed to start the show. So sorry for the tardiness. We're a little bit late today, but it's okay. We'll get the show up and running. So let's see what else. Let's see what else is, or who else is in here. Adrian also says 5 push-ups for every minute late. So Ron, you owe Adrian, let's see, 5 times 10, 50 push-ups. So we'll make sure that you get those push-ups in. All right. Let's see who else. So it's the basic usual suspects. Jazzy is in the room also. Good morning, Jazzy. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Kimmy Kim is in the room. She says, good morning, and waves to everyone. Then we've got David. He's in the room. He says, good morning, all. And then we've got Mr. Anthony Rowland. He is in the room. Good morning, everyone. Chris R. has joined us. She says, color scheme looks nice, Chris. Well, I appreciate that. Go for the neutrals, very modern or mid-modern century type of vibe. Love this type of stuff. And orange, burnt orange, favorite color. And then, goes well with the shirt. Who else is here? Charlene, she says, good morning. Elise is in the room. Okay, good morning, Elise. And I think that's basically it. So what's in the news? 2 major events happened yesterday. First of all, there was another mass shooting in Colorado at a school. I believe, I don't have all the facts, excuse me, but I believe two kids died, and I believe the shooter shot himself. And I believe he actually used a revolver to commit these murders. And of course, Charlie, what's his last name again? Because it's really not important, but just for context, because now I'm just drawing a blank here. Yeah, Charlie Kirk, excuse me, forgive me. He was murdered yesterday. And this one's kind of tricky, kind of not really. You never want anyone to be murdered, especially with gun violence, but the manner in which the irony is there. I mean, this man spewed hatred, pure hatred, and then also said that it was killing by a gun is somewhat necessary in order to maintain his Second Amendment rights. And how did he go out? By a gun in front of hundreds or probably even thousands of people. He was speaking on UVA's campus yesterday. It was an open invitation. The campus was open to the public. And he was being asked a series of questions. And the last question that he took before he was fatally shot in the neck was about gun violence. The irony does not escape me in this one. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. So I wasn't completely prepared, but we do have some clips. I do want to share them, but let me just load them up. So like I said, just throw your comments or your questions in the chat and we'll put them up and we'll discuss. So give me a few minutes. And Ron, if you're available, jump feel free to jump on because I know that you're in the room, but you might not be available to talk right now. Let me just pull something up really quickly. Let's see if I can find it. Copy link. Just bear with me. Okay, perfect. I got the first one. Let me just load this up, guys. Oops, sorry about that. Wrong button. All right. So this is something from the page called Other 98. And it's just basically a listing. It says school shootings by country 2025. Japan had 0 school shootings. Most of these other countries had 0 school shootings. South Korea, Finland, Australia, United Kingdom. Germany had 1, China had 1, France had 2, Russia had 2, Canada had 2, Brazil, had 2, Afghanistan had 3, Pakistan 4, South Africa 6, and that's for a whole for South Africa. That's not a lot. Mexico 6. Now let's look at the United States this year alone, and we're only 9 months into the year. 288 school shootings. Think about that. 288 shootings at schools. Okay? The greatest country in the world, run by a very stable genius with great common sense, remains absolutely powerless to address a problem the rest of the world has already solved. That is not America first. That is America last. All right. I want to actually play something that this was a post that I saw that Ron saw. He shared with me also. And I'm going to play this. Let me just copy it really quickly and put it in here so we can take a look at it together. And then I'm going to see, hear your comments. Oops. All right, 1 second. Let me load this. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I wasn't completely prepared to run the show this morning. All right. So I'm going to play this.
Influencer. Jasmine Crockett, what skill set does she have?
I don't know. She's a lawyer who was an ADA, criminal defense attorney, a civil rights attorney, and started her own law firm and is now a congresswoman. You dropped out of community college to be an influencer.
Jasmine Crockett's district, you're getting eliminated. Sorry, you're gonna have to go be an influencer. Jasmine Crockett, what skill set does she have?
I don't know. She's a lawyer who was an ADA, criminal defense attorney, a civil rights attorney, and started her own law firm and is now a congresswoman. You dropped out of community college to be an influencer.
Yeah. Like, this is the type of hatred and vitriol that he spewed on a constant basis. And they always say you don't want to talk ill of the dead, but it's not really talking ill of the dead when you allow yourself to see the things that he said. And he was very public with it. We all know and have seen some of the things. And if you haven't, you're going to learn today. Let me pull up another one because I think it's really important to show who he is first before we get into a deeper discussion about, how do you talk about this? How do you move with this? Let me just load up one more really quickly. And then Gwendolyn and Elise, if you're available, let me see if I can get the link. I don't know where exactly it is, but give me a second and I will get that link to you guys. I would love to have a conversation with you guys with regards to this. Oh, it's just not loading. Oops. That one didn't load. Okay, that didn't load. Okay. Let me share this link.
more women get married and have children in the West?
I would ask you, would you say that a sub-Saharan African woman who's experienced female genital mutilation and checks extremely happy in a survey, and I also would check extremely happy in a survey, who do you think would be objectively more happy, even if they both check the same answer?
No, again, so I fully, if you want to talk about how Islam mistreats women, we could talk all day long. I'm all for that.
Me too.
Okay, good. So we agree.
Yeah,
We actually
agree
have
on many,
agreement.
many things.
And we should shut off Muslim immigration to the UK, right? We totally agree.
I think that all religious fundamentalism is bad, and if you take that logic, we should also not allow evangelical Christians into
Oh, okay,
the faith either.
hold on. So hold on a second. Hold on. That's funny. Hold on. Can you show me what would your example, because I have 50, of a single Christian country that you would say mistreats women, right?
America.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do you agree that it's a good thing that more women get married?
All right. Mr. Ron Foster, welcome.
Hello, sir. Hello. And sorry, guys, I'm just here with my mom, getting her all set up for her dental care. And so that's what my whole day will be here and trying to get things done. But also, I wanted to make sure, did we say take the time to acknowledge about 9/11? Today is 9/11.
No, we did not do that. So go ahead, right ahead.
Yeah, because we want to always remember 9/11 is today, and so many souls have passed away during 9/11. But now, more people have passed away after 9/11 than the people that died in 9/11. So just a little bit of acknowledgement of that, and making sure that we are thinking of those who have lost people in 9/11. I have Adrian and myself. We lost people at the stock exchange, and a bunch of other folks that. In my neighborhood, I lost people. So it's one of those. It's always a sober, somber moment during this time of the year. 9/11 has always been a little off, a little dark, a little strange. Yeah,
and not even that. Like, even if it hasn't affected you directly, it affected all of us indirectly, and we all know where we were when that happened.
Yes.
It's very vivid in our memories, and it's something that will always stick with our generation. It's amazing to know that we are 24 years out from that. You have children that were either just being born or born after that, whose parents perished in those tragic events, and they're now adults with families of their own. And this has been. It's almost like it's a lifetime ago, basically. But we can never ever forget. This is our generation's like Pearl Harbor, basically.
Yeah.
So never forget. So I'd like to put some comments on the screen that people had. Bryson, he said he was supposed to be at the University of Maryland, but that didn't happen because he's gone. Let's see who else. Anthony Rowland says, I'm not celebrating or amused by his death, but I'm not devastated either. Yeah, I'm not even going to say thoughts and prayers. I'm going to say concepts of thoughts and prayers. Let's see. And Charlene says, agreed at Anthony. Let's see who else. Gwendolyn says ditto. Kimberly says, we are being desensitized with this and all the other politicians and activists who are being threatened. It's so true. And here's the thing. This is the one thing I think that bothers me about this particular incident. He was gunned down in a public event that he was running, his organization was running.
Mm-hmm.
And, this year alone, as we have already stated with the statistics that we have, there are 288 mass shootings in this country. Not once did the Orange Menace in the White House do an address from the Oval Office talking about that stuff. You have a congresswoman that her and her husband were murdered, I believe it was 80 days ago or 88 days ago, something in that range. He did not address it. He did not go to the funeral, nothing. But yet and still, here he is propping up a white supremacist who degraded, talked down he's a bigot, an anti-Semite, and he's uplifting him, lowering flags at half staff, and just uplifting him in the White House. It's disgusting. But anyway,
Yeah.
Gwendolyn Houston Jack is here, and I want to bring her in because I want to hear her opinion on this. Good morning,
Hey,
Gwendolyn. How are you?
But if I may interject though, if I may
Yeah.
interject, I mean, it's amazing. I am just amazed that I sent some clips over how MSNBC and a bunch of news mainstream media, they're almost glorifying him, and they're saying, "Oh, what a it was so sad that he's gone and that this happened to him," and it's almost like he's an honored veteran, and this man has done nothing but spew hate into the world. Now, that's not to say that we're for the violence. We're definitely not for violence. However, this man lived the way he died. I mean,
Absolutely.
he even said his own words were, "It's okay that we lose a couple of people in death for his Second Amendment rights." This, and it's no coincidence, I don't think. It's like just what does it call it? Isn't it ironic that as he was talking about school shootings and gun laws, he got gunned down, and this was, and people are they're not saying the obvious. This was a professional hit job.
Yep, it was.
This man, whoever did it, did one shot.
Yep,
one
from
shot
over 500 meters away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was a professional, and we don't know. And again, the Republicans, the mega fools that they are going to use. They're using it within 15 minutes of this incident. They were saying the Democrats did it. The Democrats did it. The liberals did it. And this is what's wrong with the country: is the mega morons that are out there keep instigating. And again, we who are biblically based, not the ones that are out there that are the white Christians, nationalists. Let me make sure when I say Christians, I define the white Christian nationalists, and all of those that follow these fools. They're walking around saying, "Oh, I don't want to. I want to. He was a man of God. He was a saint. He was a Christian." No, 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 no. The red letters define who's a Christian. And if this man preaches nothing but hate, 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 hate.
Yeah.
He did nothing about love. He preached nothing of love. He never shared about the love of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that out there. Sorry.
Gwendolyn, before you jump in, I just want to add on to what Ron was saying about the media. So for those that have been following the story since last night, MSNBC actually fired, who was it again? What's his name? Matthew Dowd overnight for his comments that he made on air. Yes.
Wow.
I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. Where is it? In an interview on MSNBC about the shooting, Dowd said in part, "You can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place." They fired him for making those comments. And they said MSNBC came on and said that his comments were inappropriate, and because of that, we're parting ways with him. Now, when is it? I mean, he is a consultant that comes on MSNBC and does commentary. Why is it that he can't actually give his viewpoint? He said nothing wrong in making that comment, but yet and still they fired him. Yeah, and they fired him now for it. So we're in an era now where you cannot speak the truth in the actual news media. I mean, everyone's going the way of Fox News.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn, you say what?
Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. So, my grandmother, my mother always says, if you don't have anything nice to say, then stay quiet. So I'm going to be mildly muted. Personally, I don't need to see another video of this guy. I don't.
Yes.
We know exactly who he is. If you have any sense of understanding and you can read the room, you already know that he's going to be propped up like a martyr, as we are seeing. And
Yes.
this is the mindset, the life that some of them would like to live. I believe it's in line with people who are, no offense, mediocre. And so I don't want to give it any more attention, because right after his incident, or the same time, there were
Mhm.
the children, another school shooting.
Yep.
And do I believe that political violence is acceptable? Absolutely not. However, what I don't also want to see is the constant, play of his hate speech. Like I don't have room for that. I don't have room for it. I don't have time for it. That's just me. Because every time somebody plays one more thing, in my opinion, it is giving rise to his platform and his message, and I'm not supporting that. So that is a no for me. That is a no. Gun violence is wrong, but we know that. So the question becomes, are they going to do anything? Now, if you're following their playbook, this is what you need to get those people who believe in some sort of war and trying to keep the white race going. You get them riled up. You get
Yes.
foolishness happening. That's what
Yes.
you get. So it works in their favor. I don't know what that looks like for those of us who are like, well, I don't necessarily move in those ways, but it's not like me and the hubs don't go to the gun range. So trust and believe that. Pull up if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you're trying to figure out like what happens next. You want people to not continue. We have 747 promoting it. You have all these
Yes.
other people who immediately come out and say, "Well, it's a Democrat," and it's like, where y'all getting that from? Like who told you that? Like, I don't even know where did that come from? Do I think it could have been coordinated? Oh no, sometimes you need a sacrificial lamb. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you hit something on the head. It's not about having conspiracy theories, but like there's stuff out there right now, like different camera angles that are showing different things. But I want to kind of roll back a little because Charlene had actually said something. And actually, Jazzy said something. So I want to go back to it. Let me just find it real quick. Let me put it on the screen. So first, Jazzy says there was a school shooting yesterday, and he only addressed the gentleman's being murdered. Like you don't address any of these school shootings, these mass shootings of murders of our youth, but yet and still you can prop up this guy because quote unquote he was your friend and he believed the same things that you believed. And in addition, to add insult to injury, you okay, Ron?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. To add insult to injury to us as Americans, he is awarding this man the Medal of Freedom posthumously. This is so asinine, and like, where do they even think this stuff up?
So can I jump in right
Yes.
like really quick? Okay, because this is what now Ron and I had a chat the other day about the economy and all kinds of things. And I was saying that yes, could the US like fracture in 10 years or so? Possibly. But here's the deal. You got people here who only know a life of privilege, and it's going to come a point where you have to, pardon me, pick a fucking team. You're going to have to get off your bum, get up and fight for something, because this is where it's going. A lot of these folks were like, they're the same on both sides. There, it makes no difference.
No.
You think so? You still believe in the same on both sides? Are you still believing that? We are seeing right now that children can die every single day in this country, and there will be nothing done, not a thing. But yet and still, we're about kids. We're about family values. We're not. We're not. We are so sensitized that, you know what, I remember I sent myself home when the event happened in Las Vegas. I could not go to work that day because I was just so done with this happening every single day. And now it happens, and the question only becomes how many are living and how many survived. That's it.
Yeah.
Matter of
So let's welcome into the room Miss Elise. Miss Elise, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you all? I'm doing well. I am doing well.
Good, good.
I wanted to, go ahead. You can say what you
No,
say.
go ahead.
So I wanted to kind of make a correction that people, even people speaking yesterday, they're calling this a political assassination. Charlie Kirk was an influencer.
Yes.
Yes. He was not a
He's
politician.
no different than Ron Foster, Chris, myself, or Gwendolyn. Those people that we influence,
YouTubers.
He was an influencer, not a politician.
And hold on, let's even correct it even more. An uneducated influencer.
Yes, an uneducated
because he has no degree, whereas those other Black women are highly educated. Let's just make sure that we get that out there.
And he made it his point to attack highly educated Black women.
Yes.
Yeah.
He listed them all out. Ketanji Brown, our Supreme Court Justice, being called a DI person. Jasmine Crockett. These people are all lawyers, highly qualified lawyers. Michelle Obama, he's talked about her before. All with the idea of them we need to always reiterate that the most educated population in this country are Black women. Never forget that. Never allow people to forget that. And one of the things that we also have to be very conscious of and aware is how they're all this dog whistle of all in a group, a lump of people, right? It's never when it's somebody on their side or someone that they feel is doing something, and they're a part linked to them somehow, they're lone wolves.
Yes.
Everyone else becomes the group. So that when they start saying, these are all the leftists, these are all the Democrats, that's the danger that we have to deal with. This is about an individual who shot an individual.
Yes.
Not about a group of people who had anything to do with anyone dying. And as he said himself, you can find his video where he said, it's worth losing some lives to gunfire to keep your Second Amendment rights. You have to, people have to own that part. I'm not, as people say, I'm not for anyone getting shot, but there are things they have to think about. As you said, there were children shot at a school yesterday in Colorado,
and they didn't talk about it.
A 13-year-old who posted a manifesto in the state of Washington who was arrested with an arsenal.
Yes, I saw that. Yes,
no one has talked about. And then to say that you want to give this man a presidential medal of freedom, who was he freeing? The same thing he wants to do with Rudy Giuliani. Why?
Yes.
So that you codify racism, extremism. And as I keep telling people, and you all know, I do not give them the credit or the idea that people who are mediocre and less intelligent than others, I will never call them supremacists. They are extremists. And I think we all have to change the language and the narrative that we use. I looked up the definition of of supremacy. They don't qualify for it. And so whenever we use it, we're saying to them, when we use that phrase, that they're more superior than we are. So I refuse to. We have to think about how the language we use. Language is very important. And I think that we have to constantly think about, and we're going to have people, and you see it immediately when a reporter is saying something they don't like, they're firing. Not only did they fire the ones on the national news, they also fired one on Florida. Because they didn't like what they said. So this is where we are, and understand that we are not approaching an authoritarian government. We are there.
We are. We're there.
Based on reactions to media people and how they report things out. And as you said, where was this flying half staff for the Minnesota politicians?
Exactly.
Real
politicians.
Exactly. Real politicians.
Yeah. They were assassinated because they were politicians, Democratic politicians.
Because exactly.
Where was the flag half staff? Where was the energy that people are giving this energy? And I think that Gwendolyn is absolutely right. And you all know I don't repost any of this stuff. I don't repost it. And I see everybody's out there with their opinions and their thoughts, and Don Lemon is on the street. And sometimes I would stay off the street. Just stay off. You don't have to keep asking the same question. The part is let some things be. We keep, the more we talk about it, because they don't care how you talk about it as long as you're talking about it. And every time you talk about it, it's publicity for them, right? So, not posting the things and all that, because there's so many things. These people have absolutely zero remorse. Nancy Mace out there with all her talk has zero remorse.
She's a mess.
Did she talk about children who were shot yesterday? No.
Not one. No.
She immediately started with the negativity, which they always try to accuse everybody else of, but they're always the ones who do it.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Can I ask a question? Because normally when this happens, the first thing they say is, "Oh, it's too soon to politicize this, and it's too soon to have these conversations. Let's just send thoughts and prayers." What happens to just sending thoughts and prayers? Here, like I said in the very beginning, I have a concept of a thought and a prayer. I'm not even going to give that full thoughts and prayer. I'm not going to give sorrows. This man died the way he lived. Okay? He said that it was necessary to have people die by guns in order to protect
the Second Amendment.
Our Second Amendment rights. And that's exactly how he died.
Yeah. And because
and who's to say, who's to say that this wasn't a mega setup? We don't know. We don't know who the shooter is.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I don't think they're going to find him. I don't think they're going to find that shooter.
Well,
the way this was carried out, I don't think they're going to find him.
So wait, let's just give an update, because they had a press conference this morning right before we came on and I watched it. And they were talking about they recovered the gun. It was out in the woods. They do have footage of him going up in the stairwell. I don't know if it's front facing or they just have a silhouette of the person, but they said they do have video footage of him leaving, and then also on the roof. And then on top of it, they found a partial palm print there as well. So they do have some evidence. They said they feel very confident that they're going to be able to apprehend this suspect. But here's the other thing too.
They're going to find someone.
Well, hold on. But here's the other thing too.
Exactly.
This government, this administration does not know how to lead any type of investigation. No. They went out there and prematurely said that we had a suspect in custody, and then had to retract it. Then went back out again and said we have a suspect in custody, and had to retract. Now, hold on. This is the FBI director who did this.
Yes.
The person who's supposed to be in charge of one of our top governmental agencies in this country, where they're putting out misinformation about people. And now these two individuals are being had death threats against them, and they had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, and let's go back a little bit. We're gonna go back to Eargate. Eargate.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They didn't talk so much about it after they found the writings from the individual that they said the student who was killed, and all of his things were right wing.
Yes.
All of his stuff that he wrote. He supported him. He voted. He did all those things. Didn't talk about that in detail. So when you rush out to say who someone is, that's about creating chaos and directing violence toward a group of people when you don't know what you're talking about at all. Because if this person was hired by someone, that person, a hired person, doesn't care about your politics.
Yeah.
They care about how much money I was paid to do a job, if that's what happened. We don't know what happened. But the point is, no accusation should be out there trying to vilify a group and create violence and harm toward people, because that gives you protesters. Everybody be careful, because that's what they're creating. They're creating this climate for the people who have not been picking up arms and shouldn't be. We're not out here. We're not out here threatening. We're like, if war is what you want. No, we're not asking that. That's what you want.
That's right.
And we have got
to want war.
Changing that narrative and allowing them to control the narrative. It's just like when they say all black people are blah blah, but they never say all white people. They say, oh, he was or she was.
Oh yeah. Or to say,
to try to put people in our group and try to make themselves separate. And she didn't like the question when the guy said so.
Yes.
Democrats for this, are Republicans responsible for the Democrats the Democratic Party who was killed in Minnesota. Oh, why, my. Yeah, my. You should answer the question.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
It's-
good propaganda.
The hypocrisy that is running around Washington in this country right now is just obscene. And this is why you go ahead, Gwendolyn. Go ahead.
Well, when you talk about hypocrisy, and I was chatting with my husband yesterday. I don't get on Facebook very often, but when I do, I'm like, I don't know why I got back on here. But I'm trying to wrap my head around people I worked with. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know how you just didn't see that coming? Right.
Yes.
So it's not just Washington. It's like, these are the folks who I have sat at a table with, shared cocktails, a meal, a whole 9 yards. And the fact that they are so deep in the belief that somebody took this man out because he was preaching the truth, and you can't go out there and preach the truth. I'm just like, what do I do as an average person? Like, how do I say, you know what, that's some ignorant shit. Like, I don't understand how you can't discern hate from like freedom speech. And it's just like, how do you say, yeah, I'm a Christian, I'm this, I'm that, but then this is the stuff that you also believe in? Or they'll do that, well, I only believe in half of what he said, but not all of what he said.
Right.
Well, what half is that? like there's not a...
Gwendolyn, I'm with you. Yesterday, I saw one of the church members I used to go to church with back in the day, and they posted, we need to pray for him and his family. And I know I'm going to get some slack because I'm supporting him. He was a man of God. He's a saint. And I'm sitting here like, what Bible are these people? And these are the people we grew up with. These are the people that we went to church with. These are the people that were in the choir. These are the people that were in ministry. And you sit there and say, what Bible are they reading?
They're not.
Right. You just have to realize this. And Chris, you're absolutely right, because I've had conversations with people and brought up passages in the Bible, and they like, I never read that, because I said, why? Because I haven't read the Bible. I say, exactly. And so we just are, and even though these are people in church, at this point, they're quote unquote Christians. They're Christians. They're whatever they decide. They're not Christians according to what we think. Like, if you support people who are preaching hatred,
yes,
people who don't care if children starve or die, people who are blatantly racist, misogynistic.
Yes,
you support people who try to cover up for people who abuse women and who are pedophiles. You support all of that. How can you dare call yourself that? And then you have to understand that there is a part in the Bible that addresses you. That's the part when they tell you that there will come a time. Those who call yourself Christian, who will follow idols, who will raise up men who are not, who are walking contrary to what God has said and what Jesus believed. They said this time was coming. So I would just tell them, you have arrived at the time that you are that Christian described in Revelation, who have now put a man above Jesus.
Yeah.
So a man above God and his word. So that's what I would tell them. And then I'm with Gwendolyn. Like, I don't have time for the stuff. And I may not use all of the language, but I'm going to use some language. And I'm going to let you know that you full of crap. That no, this is trash. And all of these things, all of that's crazy. I'm going to let you know that. Because I'm not going to sit and allow you to tell me or anyone else something crazy. I'm going to let you know the truth. But I want all of them who claim to be that to go read it. Go read. And so you can see where you are in that book, because that's where you are in that book. You are now idolizing people. And you don't mind that this man wants to raise up people who have spewed all of this hatred and give them
hatred.
A matter of freedom from what?
For freedom.
Listen.
For what?
For what?
But I said to Gwendolyn yesterday, immediately after this happened, I said, they're going to make this man a martyr. They're going to make him a martyr instantly. I knew they were going to make him a martyr. Fox News, that dumb Jeffrey Waters, or Jeff Waters, wherever he is so pathetic. Sometimes I want to go through the TV and just, strangle him. but he is literally the worst of anchors on television and an instigator. He is a baiter, instigator, a trash bag of a person. I can't stand him. And I just sat there. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I know.
No, go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
But he is a horrible person. It did not take 15 minutes. It did not take 15 minutes for this moron to say it's the Democrats, the liberals, we need to go after them like they're going after us. I mean, this is the problem with this country. And these mega fools are the worst thing that ever happened to this country. But America allowed it.
Here's the thing. It'll be something when it's actually revealed that this person probably was a MAGA supporter, and because of the fact that he probably was, and I want to know what the narrative is going to be when that does come out.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come out. I don't know if it'll come out. Like it may be like one of those little quick blips, and then it kind of goes away.
That's a
and then it'll turn into it'll turn back into mental illness. But then here's the thing: you say that all these mass shooters are mentally ill, but yet still you've slashed the budget, you've closed the funding for any mental help that people can get. So where are these people that have mental issues supposed to go and get treatment if there's no money for it?
And you refuse to have red flag laws. You refuse that. You refuse that, so you can't deny them anything. And you know, and right now living in DC, they are what's her name? Pirro has said that people can bring their own guns into DC. Like that's not allowed in DC, but she's saying they can do that. For what reason? And so I think that the things that we have to concentrate on is number one, awareness.
Yes.
And then we're doing our darndest to change the narrative. Don't give them that power of just saying it, because the things that always give me, if you don't have a stitch if they don't have a stitch when they post these comments behind them, when somebody says, oh, it's the Democrats, it's the liberal, if you don't have a stitch behind that and that's not what you believe, don't post that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to say something that counters that. You have to say something that's factual and how they approach things before. And then, you know, the part that I've been emphasizing for over a year now is that understanding that mainstream media in America, all of it, the New York Times can be a little different sometimes, but everything else, the Washington Post and these news media outlets have all been infiltrated and are controlled by right-wing extremists.
Absolutely.
I don't call them conservative anymore, because this is not conservatism. This is extremism.
Yes.
I mean, when you have commentators coming on and giving their opinions, because that's what they're being hired to do, and it doesn't align with what you think that the president and right wingers want to hear, you fire them. Come on now, what is going on? What is going on in this country?
But it's Oh, go ahead.
Well, go ahead, Lily. Go ahead.
Well, it's not just in the media. I mean, like, I'm down here in Texas because, you know, we always doing some dumb stuff, and there was that professor. You know, test case. We are testing all the things, but there was that professor that was recently removed because she was discussing, you know, trans and different genders, and this young lady's like, well, that goes against my religious belief, and the president laws said they're only male and female. Now, here's the deal. You're in college. You pay for that. I've had some good professors. I've had some bad professors. But the fact that you have so many public institutions that are bending the knee and trying to dictate what is taught is like, we're in a bad state. Now, I will say this before I pass it back. U.S. students, I want to say, I read a report yesterday. We have low math and reading scores. We are in bad times, people. Bad times. These kids can take a test but can't do anything else. You know, our
can they even do that?
System is being pushed with all kinds of foolishness. And I'm just thinking, where do we go? Because you got this guy talking about bringing American jobs here in manufacturing, but we don't have the skill set to do that. And then when you bring people over here to teach them, you want to arrest them and call them illegals, right? And detain them which hurt us getting the jobs and the skills in a bad way.
Right.
Thinking, where does this go exactly? Where does it go that you can't be a professor teaching your class for fear of what might be said, and the school is like, nope, she has to go because the governor said she should be fired.
And yeah, don't you find that interesting? Because everyone is talking about how things need to be balanced in education and on these campuses, right? But when you speak and when you try to show the balance because of one part, you are then fired. How does that work? So it's not about the balance. It really is about saying and doing what they demand that you do, and not show the actual facts. See,
Ron, hold on. Elise, hold on one second. Ron, I'm muting you because of your background noise. I'll unmute you when you're ready to talk. Go ahead, Elise. Sorry.
So these are actual facts that people are trying to share, right? You're trying to tell the truth. And so you'll get fired or reprimanded for telling the truth and speaking the truth. And so when students anywhere, and I keep saying that we have to start using their laws against them. So I'm going to be, if I was a student, I'm going to be uncomfortable in some classes that you want to say whatever you want to say. And I'm going to tell you this law, this Texas law says that once I become uncomfortable, you have to stop that. And I think when we start using our power, and their laws and policies, see, you're going to use the law and policy. You're not just going to go out on your emotion. According to this law in the state of Texas, the minute I feel uncomfortable as a Black woman or as a woman or whoever I am, according to this law, you have to stop that. That's what the law says. You have to rethink that part of your curriculum. And I think we have to, and someone, Kelly A. Pointed out that a dean was fired because of what she said on social media. And so they're firing whomever speaks out, because we are in an authoritarian state right now. That's what
here it is.
Let's not say where we're getting to. We are here. So how do we function in that? And understanding, like I said before, we have the power. The people en masse have the power. We keep giving up our power and letting these few people at the top control us.
Please, I thought about you yesterday because I was like, I don't understand how people don't recognize, for all the talk of we don't want XYZ in our school and I don't want blah, blah, blah here. If people would just pack up all their stuff and walk out, what would you do? Right. Please enlighten me. Right. What would you do? Before I came on, there was a young lady who voted for that felon, talked about there's going to be a party, blah, blah, blah. But then today, as in like 2025, she's going to Mexico for dental work because she can't afford her dentist in the United States.
And why the hell not? Because you voted for someone who took away your opportunity to get regular service.
It's like if people, I'm with you, Miss Elise. There's got to be a point. Now, I am far more extreme than Miss Elise is, right? Gwendolyn would just walk out on some stuff. It's like, you know what, screw it. So I'll just, that's how I was raised, right?
So but let me share something. I have been an extremist. So I shared this story with people.
You're me in the future. So you're me in the future.
As a teacher, I galvanized other teachers to walk out of class one morning because the principal was doing some stuff and all the teachers kept complaining. I said, why we keep complaining? Let's walk out of these classes. If we don't teach, the school can't function. We walked out, packed our bags, and stood in the main office. He came out. He, of course, said to me, stalwart, because that's what he called me. Why didn't you tell me here? I said, I did, and you didn't listen. So here we are. We stood there and told him we weren't going back to work until he fixed what we told him needed to be fixed. He then called the superintendent's office. Now, the superintendent at the time knew me well because she knew me as a parent first and then as an educator. She sent her deputy superintendent up to the school. I never forget that day. He sat down with us and he said, what are the conditions? What are the things that you need to have changed? And we gave him the list. When he left, that principal changed those things back. Because I have the teachers realize that the school doesn't function with the principal. It functions with teachers. If the teachers walk out of class and don't teach, they don't do it. And I say the exact same thing for people in this country. If you walk out, if enough of these people walk out, don't show up for work, be sick. NBA players don't play. WNBA players don't play. NFL players don't play. The ones of color, don't go. You shut stuff down.
Yeah.
Don't go out shopping. Don't do anything. Just be still. As they say, the day the earth stood still, is that we need to make sure this country stands still for at least a day or two, so they understand that you have, because we exist.
I totally agree with you. And I think we have to use I love bringing this example back up, but using Target as an example, when we all collectively say, you know what, we're going to stop supporting Target, look at what it has done to them. They've lost over, was it $12 billion of business. Mm-hmm. And they quote unquote, fire their CEO, move someone else in, but it's showing that but it's showing that we, the people, if we take a stand, we do have power. And what you're saying is exactly true. If we all say, you know what, today is a day of reckoning, we're going to not just do anything for 2 days. Look at how much money will be lost in this country. And that will set a precedent, and we will take a stand and take our country back.
Right. So if I can go back to that, and this is where the education part comes in, because I see Anthony's comment. A couple of things stick out to me. One, and I say this in general terms, right? Americans are some simple bitches. And I mean that. They don't understand. I know I'm here as an American, so God bless me, but they don't understand how the world works. And it's so clear when you read some of the comments, and I'm gonna pick on this Hyundai situation specifically. Right. They don't understand that when you're opening a new business, you need people who know the business to come in to build the foundation. They don't stay there. They leave. I was part of a team that just traveled the U.S. I would be in a place for 2.5 to 3 weeks. I'd help out, and then I go to the next place. We don't stay there, but you got to have folks come in to do it. But the fact you can tell people they needed a temporary visa to come in and do this, and their whole thing is, but they're still here illegally, and they still took jobs.
No, they're not.
You couldn't even take that job. You don't have the skill. You have no skill. So I'm stuck at a place for one. Yeah, I say don't show up. Just don't. If you don't have the people to help train them, then that factory doesn't move.
Well, here's the thing. Just to
things don't get delivered.
Let me add on to that. Was it South Korea has officially said that they are canceling that contract and they will not be opening that plant.
Oh, I hadn't seen that. Now I will say this. And
I saw that yesterday.
A lot of jobs.
In terms of getting the news, because if you stay in this ecosystem, then you're not going to get the news. I went overseas and got some Korean news, thank God for translations. I want to hear what this man got to say. I know they saying something over there. He was saying something over there. It's like we have to figure out, what are we going to do? I say it again. You got to pick a team, because you can't sit on the sideline. You sit on the sideline, it's not going to work out. You're going to have these fools, and I believe they're like the Chihuahua. They are loud and they are yappy, but they're not that big. Right. I cannot believe, I know 77 million or whatever voted for whatever, but still, there was a good third that didn't even do anything. Right. Who are now in the middle of, I'm trying to figure out what to do. You're going to have to pick a team, kid. You're going to have to put your foot on base and start fighting for something. That's what's going to have to happen. It may not happen tomorrow, but trust, it is somewhere down the line. Get yourself together, because it's coming.
And there was over 70 million that voted for her, for Kamala. There were over 70 million that voted for her as well. So where are your 10 toes down? So I'm a mathematician and a Trekkie. So I'm going to tell you two things. We're at an inflection point.
Yes, we are.
We're at an inflection point. And so it's time to get off the pot and do something. You either do something on that or you get off of it. So here's the Trekkie part of me. And I want people to hear this and hear this well. And I think you all have heard me talk about the Borg before. Yes. The Borg was a collective.
Yes.
They were indestructible.
I love this reference.
Indestructible. They worked as a unit. They went about and they could take over anything. As they said, resistance was futile with the board. So the way they infiltrated the board, where they managed to deconstruct them, and is the same way they managed to deconstruct our community. Mm-hmm. They had to create individuality. Mm-hmm. So they called Hugh, and they had a conversation with Hugh. They told him, first of all, they gave him a name. They didn't have names in the collective. It was we. They gave him a name, taught him to say I. You know, even when you say things like my children are here, my children are there, I never fought just for my children. I fought for all children in DC. Not my children, because my children were fine. They were exceptional children when it came to their education. But they taught him to say his name, that he was an individual, and I instead of we, and they put him back in the collective, which destroyed it. That's the only way they could do it. So I give you all that analogy to say that we are stronger together, and their fear is that we realize it, that we don't just think about me and mine, that we think about us as and we, and how we're going to survive. And the we in this case, and I want people to be very clear, I am not just referring to Black people. I'm talking to everyone that's in the same bucket. I'm talking to poor white people. I'm talking to white women. I'm talking to any people of color that are here, any new immigrants to the country. I'm talking to you, because the reason that you're able to do what you do is because of Black people and their sacrifices. But guess what? Because and I'm talking to the wealthy Black folks too. I'm talking to you because you're in the same bucket. You may be at the top swimming in your water. You may not have as far to go to hit the bottom, but you're still in the bucket. You're still in that same stinky bucket that we're all in, and that we all got to understand where we are and come together so that this bucket, and we are far outnumbered. You understand, they're the 1%, we're the 99.
Right.
And you're going to tell me 99% of us part of that 99 can't come together and make an impact? We can. Until we realize we're all in this bucket together, and that they want us to stay at each other's throat. Mm-hmm. Because when you look at the people who are threatening, oh, we at war, uneducated, and you in that bucket too. You're in the bucket with me. You're no different. You're just pawns on the board. So that's how they've done it. So if we want to do anything, it's about coming together as a collective. If you can get 50 million people not to go to work, you know you can shut this country down. Think about who works TSA. Think about who drives the bus. Think about who works on Amtrak trains. You shut down every part of
regular Americans.
Every part of this country was shut down. You know, we're going to have to start being like France. They over there burning their stuff down. We're going to have to start coming together and being a collective, and not to burn stuff down, but we can shut it down. You can shut this country down if a large enough number of us, and I'm retired, so of you all. Now, my part is I wouldn't go out to a store because I don't have to. I can make a way. I can make food in what I have now and don't have to go to the store. I can do whatever I have to do, right? I don't need any clothes. I don't need anything out there. But until we are able to, as I said, until we're able to be inconvenienced, uncomfortable, willing to take a risk and sacrifice, we will be in this bucket, and we'll be the ones that lead to our own demise. The people outnumber that 1%. We outnumber all of these people. And the only people that can primary these people out really are us. It doesn't matter how they draw a district. 60% of Texas is people of color. Yeah. Wake up. I don't care if you speak Spanish or English. Y'all in the same bucket. Wake up. Women down in Texas crying because they can't get an abortion pill. Say, wake up. Wake up, people. Because then you only talk about what percentage of Texas is white men. Because everybody should be together. If you're not a white man, quote unquote Christian, quote unquote heterosexual, you should be out there willing to shut the state down.
Well, with that being said, I think this is a great spot to end the show today. Listen, I love having you ladies on, but before we get out of here, let's take care of some business. Please join. Oh, hold on, let me take this off real quick. please join Ron's email list today. In case, sometime in the future we lose some of these services, you can still keep in touch via email. He provides service updates, industry news, monthly trends, and you want to always be in the know. All right. Also, don't forget, Ron is an event photographer, and this is how he makes his money. So he'll travel for events, and he'll capture your special moments. And then also, he wants to say thank you to all his Patreon members. Your support helps us create this amazing content. Let me tell you something. It takes a village to run this show, and it takes money to put this out every single day. So go over to his Patreon page and subscribe and, donate on a monthly basis. Then, of course, also, he wants to invite everyone to join the YouTube channel, join this channel, and help grow this community. All right. And with that being said, let's see. I think Ron is actually back in the room. Let me see. Yes, he is. He's back with us. Ron, we're going to give you the last. You're muted, sir. You have to unmute. Unmute first.
There we go.
We're going to give you the last word.
You guys are great. Thank you, Chris, Elise, Gwendolyn, for holding it down and sharing your perspective. This is a crazy time we're living in, and it's where we are. And again, we're going to need community more than ever before. It is going to be community that's going to help us get through it. We're going to have conversations. We'll have to talk it out. Sometimes we'll be feeling stressed, and we're just going to have to just talk and call one another and say, hey, I'm really disturbed today. You may not be disturbed every day, but once in a while we get there, and we're going to need each other. Make sure you exchange information with one another. It's okay to have each other's numbers. Reach out to each other and say, hey, I just want an accountability buddy. It's so important. Yeah. So I was just here with my mom, getting my mom squared away for her dental stuff. And but thank you guys for so much. Tomorrow is our Focus Friday. We'll be doing Focus Friday, and we'll be talking about accounts and all kinds of stuff that inspire us, that encourage us. Thank you, Elise. Where can people find you, Elise? Did y'all do that already? Where can people find Elise? Okay, Elise, where can people find you?
You can find me at SALIEZ _ on Instagram, Elise Forward on YouTube.
Muted?
Nope, you're good.
Where can people find you? Oh, okay. Why is Gwendolyn laughing? Gwendolyn's always laughing at me.
Jack on YouTube.
Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Okay, have a good night. Have a good day. Love you all.
Bye, Ron.
Bye.
Bye, Ron.
Hello?